Perfect.
Out on course as men do start, because those were the races from, I believe those were the morning results leads. As Martin is doing an amazing job, killing it over from WTR with all of our graphics, and I think just got.
And Nathan, thanks for the catch there. You're a great teammate for sure. Because I would, you
I
know
saw
me,
that,
right?
I was like, you would have just read right through it, and I was like, those are not the names that we've been.
I see. I trust Martin. I trust Martin so much. He's been such a loyal teammate. So again, we work really hard to get this stuff right, and you need someone to be a backstop. And Nathan, you were an excellent one. So let's just jump right in. Though we have racing underway. Again, this was a proper World's course. We're looking at Innsbruck. This was the 2018 Valverde was the winner in the men's race. That's who we're looking at right now. We'll have the A's, the B's, the C's, the D's, all out racing for the men and the women. But all right, a lot of different flags up there, Nathan. We know they go out hard. They always do. 52 kilometers per hour is the speed they're rolling at right now. 1 kilometer in. That first kilometer had a pretty brisk, about a 110 for that opening K. Not bad at all, boys.
Always crazy fast when it does come to the reality of racing out on the starts can be just off the front going immediately. Gerardo here now. Very interesting to see. Now, I think that's just a little bit of TV time because this pack's going to come screaming up here. 45 kilometers per hour. Moving out of Belgium to the front as well. Their starts, you didn't get very recently, I think? Or no, we just treated they're pretty intense right from the get-go.
They sure are. I mean, and everybody, I think, once you've done one of these, the lesson is learned. You better come warmed up. You're going to go immediately down, put the accelerator on the floorboard, as I say. Hey, Nathan, I'm just hearing some very exciting names in this field. Now, I can't confirm that everybody actually was able to get hooked up as we welcome more riders to this fantastic Zwift platform. But at the World Championships last year, a couple standout rides. Luke McCarthy and Magnus Sheffield are racing with us. Gabriel Shipley is in this field, and cyclocross superstar out of Minnesota, Nick Carter. He rides for that KCCX team that Phil Marshall does such a good job with. So these are some of the under 20 riders, all under 23 riders, espoirs as we call them, the hopefuls in the American world that are, absolutely on the trajectory to represent us at many world championships and Olympic Games. Nathan, this field is stacked. Our USA Cycling League race. We're really getting into the meat and potatoes with these races now. So it's a series that we're kind of working our way into the first third here. Grupo Compacto right now. First time up the leg snapper. Get ready to say goodbye to a few riders. They'll be showing them the back door of the theater here. There's no doubt, Nathan. I mean, if you had to take a guess, we start 85. I say the group is under 50. After we hit the top of the leg snapper the first time, it's that significant. I mean, it goes to 10%, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets pretty dang steep.
Close.
If you want to check out any of the stats over on goodpower.com, you can as well. But I believe the elevation gain is only 308 on this course, but it is some very sharp 308 actually. So I believe we do hit over 10% actually. It's a little bit. So it's full on. You're looking at, I believe, about, I'm going to say about almost half a K actually in the climb, maybe 400 meters, so 500 meter climb or so, full on, and you're gaining in that, it looks like about 100 meters or so of elevation gain, so it's full on though. There's another section they just went through actually, they're going through right now over this little bridge here. And this section has a little bit of a false flat gradient actually, uphill 2-3% times, which is another section, as you can see, does cause a little bit of mayhem. As we do have James Hodges from the KRT team, Eric Boone there, also from the Audi team, it looks like. Scotty Wentz is there in the front, Raynuts there also. And Raynuts, he's got a check mark here, maybe in real life Pro. I'm going to have to take a look here. We'll probably get some comments coming through the chat here on this rider here out of Belgium. Also, an Irish rider there, Scala there as well. So, a couple of check marks here to be watching out for us. Spencer Downey makes his way to the front for Gerald Cycling.
He gave me a ride on the other day. I'm going to give you a ride on, Spencer. He's right here in Fort Collins, Colorado as well. Always good to see him. Very active racer. That's a name that we've heard a lot this season. Nathan, talking about Spencer Downing. He's been a quality cyclocross racer coming out of the Rocky Mountain region here as we look at a lot of American flag rotating up near the front of the group right now. Okay, well, the fireworks begin in just a few moments, the first of 4 looks, and it looks like we're getting Leah Thorvaldsen and company. Leah, one of our favorite riders. She's been a friend of Zwift since the very early days. One of the Zwift, was she the first Zwift Academy winner?
First Swift Academy winner.
Right.
Yep, rode for the Canadian Tram team. Because of that, got a full contract actually. So,
yeah, big part of the community.
Leading, and not just riding for Team Turbo, helping to manage Team Turbo actually now at this point, which is pretty awesome. Her with that Team Ambassador, her and Charlie Backus out there for the Team Turbo team today. So they're just getting out on course here. We'll jump in with the ladies as they head on over toward their fall flat in just a moment. But the men are about to hit the leg snapper. So we're going to jump in with them and see how things play out as they hit it for the first time here. Positioning is going to be really important. You see Jay Yager there make his way to the front there as well. Watch out for him. Very strong rider here. He's taken some solid results in the Tour of America's Dairyland.
Yeah, that's one of America's great races. Boy, if you love criteriums, you're not going to find, without any doubt, it's been many years of that, even going back into the 70s with the Wisconsin Milk Race. Nathan, there in Wisconsin, you guys have loved your bike racing for a long time. I remember with our USA Cycling family, they've done a lot of national championships there. I got to call a criterium at the state capitol, the collegiate nationals. Collegiate racing is the best, no doubt. Look at this, Scotty Weiss, James Hodges. James Hodges, another big part of the Zwift community here, racer and the active part of just a good guy in the community. They're stretching some legs out right now, Nathan. Or actually, they're stretching their legs out. It looks like a small group possibly going to come together. Spencer Downing is going to catch that train as we roll through Innsbruck here. All right, these guys trying to get out in front of it, Nathan. What about that tactic? Doing a little sag climbing, if you will. If you start 5 seconds ahead of the field, even if they catch you, you're still going to be in there when you go over
this is
the
an
top.
interesting split here, actually. Very early on, 4 seconds, actually. And, with this field, they may chase this down a little bit, but it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of impetus there. Like, Scotty Weiss here to the front, Bowen's there as well. We see Downing is in there, Yager. This is a serious group that could make
big
this
names.
stick a little bit. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see, though, if it happens now. It looks like Hodden now closing that down, though, so it does look like the group's going to come back together. But a couple of suffering off the back here. See who has been able to make it. Does look like we do have Legion team in here. Again, Eddie Ferrer, loving the broadcast, it seems like, as he's jumped in here. Again, the Mexican rider, it looks like, from Team Legion out of LA. Power is on board, it looks like, for the Belgian Zwift racing team. Arctic Echelon, though, with Heinlein off the back, it looks like, with Mitchell just hanging on here, 181. This is going to be the split here, and definitely have dropped a few off because of those attacks over the top of the leg snapper. Very select group here at this point.
Mexican cycling has a lot of quality young people. Ulysses Castillo is another that you really wish them the best. Eder has been a class act, that's for sure. Riding with that Legion of LA team. Cormac McGeough is back. Cormac's going to be racing in the Tour of the Gila coming up. Tour of the Gila has been one of the mainstays on the USA Cycling road calendar. Without any doubt, Redlands and Gila, Cascade, these have been the events that started long before the Amgen Tour of California, and hopefully will be running long after here. And we're going to be doing a Tour of the Gila with the team time trial. Thanks to our friends at WTRL, the World Tactical Racing League. They give us a lot of horsepower to be able to put on that stage run. I saw USA Cycling. Mari Holden's going to be bringing the national team out to race. Tibco's going to be there. They're the #1 team in the world right now, I would say, when you talk about racing on Zwift. They absolutely crushed the Tour for all. But Nathan, let's take a look at the men right now. It looks like we've got some action hotting up here. These guys are having at it right now. Body blow after body blow being thrown where I didn't expect to see it. I thought we'd just be kind of shadow boxing here, Nathan, but these guys are having at it. This is going to be McLean that we're looking at right now, the Cannondale rider. Somebody, Power joining here. So McLean and Power working together. Just a small gap, but it just shows you how active they are, Nathan.
Yeah, it does look like some attacks are coming from the Cannondale riders now. It is going to be K-Power coming across here. Not always the best spot to give a go, but it could work if people are a little bit tired. It's the first lap, though, and so there's going to be a lot of energy in the legs still. So bringing that back together here. Let's go ahead and jump in with the women now, though, as they are heading on over toward the leg snapper. Take a quick look, though, at the current standings here for the women on as we have updated them. And as you were saying, Team Timko definitely at the top here. And go ahead and throw it over to you here for the ladies.
Hey, thanks, Nathan. Lauren Stevens is a monster, no question. She's represented the United States at the World Championships, certainly looking to see if she can make that Tokyo Olympic team. No doubt that she's the gold standard here. So that's your leader, Caroline Murray. Then Shani Berger out of Israel. She was a winner of our first actual event. Christy Tracy, the powerhouse out of Austin. Then we take a look at the Romanian rider, Daniela Estrate, sitting in fifth. This is all points-based in our USA Cycling Race League series presented by Saris in the Pros Closet. Clara James here, another American, sitting in the top six. Monalique Keller, Canadian rider in seventh. There's Charlotte Backus in eighth. Pamela Levine in ninth. And then Fiona Schroeder. Nice to see Fiona. She's 19 years old, a rider to watch out of Germany, sitting up in our top 10. So that's our A's. In the B category, we get a look at Emma Nussbaumer. That's our leader. Christy Brinker. So you can see that they put their USA Cycling licenses in. So Christy Brinker will be at the top of our USA Cycling rankings. Thea Friestedt, Anna Sveskaville, Svenja Scheller, and Ford. Nice to see Colorado's Jessica McWhirter. She's a hard-working and motivated rider. Janine Seeger, Heidi Pop, and Diz. These are the top 10 in that B category. It's been a fun race to watch out here every week as well. We move to the C's then. We see our leader, Christine Culver. She's got a nice 140 points tallied. She's been on a roll. Kirsten Katronis is in second, just a couple points behind her is going to be Kim Beezer. Sarah Blanton in third. Then we have Autumn Winky rounding out our top five with Katie Hare, Wendy Skeen, Jennifer Baker, Ariel Van Houten, and Christy Arendt. So they're tied right now, you can see, in the top 10. Moving to our D's, Melissa Avery, Elizabeth DeWitt, Cam Sutafan, she's with the Palmares Racing Team, S. Patterson, Kelly Harmon. That's your top five because there's a tie in fourth right now on this points-based series. Eileen Ray, Kimber Fisher, Mary Whitehead, Ella Edinburgh, Ankermark, and then Carrie Wright out of the United Kingdom. There's three riders deadlocked in eighth place on 35 points. Nathan, thanks for getting all those leaderboards out there. I really appreciate it. I'll throw it back to you as you pick up the action here.
Yeah, it is going to be Kate, and that is awesome to see all the ladies involved in the, as well as everybody else participating. That's the top 10 across all the categories. But now in the A category, over the top of the leg snapper for the first time to Kishida out of Japan now. Christy Tracy trying to follow that up. It looks like from the Saris Infinite team. Then it's going to be Lauren Stevens right on her wheel. Look at the drafting there from Lauren Stevens, just making sure not wasting anything. It looks like Caroline Murray now trying to come on through. Then James Kerr there from Team Fearless. Norvelston now Team Turbo working alongside a Backus on the fourth wheel on the back. Last rider maybe to make this split is going to be Charlotte Backus as Chafin here from Velocity Vixen, unable to make it at 185 beats per minute. As you can see, they're 6K in and already dropping off. Wendorf going to try and come across here. Maybe three riders that could get together, work together, and bring this back together. Actually, four riders, even as we see some speed here coming from Angela Pitts here from the Evoke team, actually. And then it's going to be F. Hall here from TBP. As well as Matt's and Cole. Now this is splintered though, that's for sure. It's gonna be hard to get organized as these riders are not gonna have a whole lot in the legs once they do come together here. As Chafin here's putting in the main of the work. Looks like Schultz coming through there from South Africa. 6 seconds up. They probably gonna bring this back if they work well together. A solo rider, maybe not. But looking up ahead, it's going to be a question of whether or not they're motivated to make this split, and I think they're going to calm on down as they know they've got three more over the top of the leg snapper, as looks like to the front. Immediately is that Pamela Levine, I want to say, from the Vision team. But this is going to come back together, I think, with the second, even the third group, as you can look behind them and see there's a definite chase happening here.
Yeah, Nathan, I always remember the old saying with some teammates kind of mumbled, if that guy had brains, he'd be dangerous. Well, Lauren Stevens does have brains. She is really good at Zwifting, and she has a huge engine. I would say if you look around and you see you're in a group with her, go ahead and play those cards because that's usually you're going to see these are race-winning moves. Charlotte Backus is another very dangerous rider that we have here in Nathan. I would say one of the highlight rides over the last couple of months was what we saw from Christy Tracy a couple of weeks ago with her stunning late race attack. We were in Central Park racing, and she put her heart into that one. It came up just a little short, but didn't we learn something about Christy Tracy that day? A fantastic racer who's willing to put it all out on the line. It looks like both of these races are very, very active. This is a really interesting course to race on here. For those of you joining us, we certainly love having you watching. And they call it the leg snapper. Nathan, when this Innsbruck course was introduced, this became a feature sector immediately. Talk about how hard the climb is. I mean, you pack a lot. It's like you pack 10 pounds worth of watts into a 5-pound bag on this climb because it all comes at you. I mean, all the elevation gain is about less than a kilometer out here.
Yeah, it's full on. It's absolutely full on. Essentially, you hit in a semi-sprint from bottom to top on the leg snapper, trying to hang on, and from there, if you make it over the top, and even at that point, a lot of times there are some attacks that do take place. There was an attack just now coming from Velas from the Dirt We Try team. That's going to be the dad's inside riding trainers in this A category. He went off the front with about 3 riders just a moment ago with Brian Hodges, I believe, and a few others. Unable to make something happen from it. It's going to calm on down, I think, in the men's race now, though, because knowing that next section is going to be the leg snapper again here. Jaden Yager now making his way toward the front there. And it looks like it's 183 Pete Sprint, as you can see the suffering here now, and that's going to be over calming that heart rate down here. Very risky move through that false flat section, because of the reality of the leg snapper coming up pretty quick. If somebody were to counter here into the leg snapper, it might break a few off, but it's always about risk reward, right? In bike racing, how much can you risk at any time before each section that comes at you on course? Left-hand turn, right-hand turn, little chicane here, and then we're right on into the climb for the second time. The other part on course, the attack is after this through the sprint section into that flat where we did see an attack last lap. Not going to work until the later laps, I think. And then obviously the false flat over the top of the bridge that we just came on over. But looks like right-hand turn here in just a moment. And making the way forward here, it looks like it is going to be near for Project Arsalan. And then Eddie Ferrer now also making his way to the front. John Yeager, first place, well positioned here, and it is going to be about positioning as well, Dave.
Yeah, it really is, Nathan. You don't want to be entering this climb in the back half of this group because splits are going to start opening up. There'll be more splits in this field than you see in a bad afternoon in a Las Vegas divorce court, to tell you the truth. So you've got to get yourself up near the front of this group. There's no doubt about it. The pressure is on now. Watch those numbers. If you're new to us, you can see, look at all the red numbers popping right now, Nathan, over here. You can see everybody's going big now. All right, gentlemen, it is on like Donkey Kong right now. Here we go. Buckle up, boys. Only the strong are going to survive. This is like if you're in Vail, Colorado, just slamming from going off of I-70 and just going straight up the mountain because it is going to be brutal. It's not a long climb. These guys are really going to get after it. They're throwing down just body blow after body blow. Nathan, this is the bike race happening right now. We still got a long way to go. Remembering there's 36 total K of racing. They're not even to the halfway point, but decisive moment here. You're not going to win the race in the next 2 minutes, but you could get caught out.
Yeah, you can see that the splits are starting to happen here off the back just a little bit. And there's some riders, I think, that are just trusting that this is going to come back together here. As you do see this line of ridership, but these are the risky points here. One of these riders lets something go here. You can see this. PTZ just staying involved everywhere here, but 1 second back. If this rider here from the DTR team, if Dan J as well from the Dropouts, did not close that down, these riders' race was over. Speed's looking behind us, but this is a rider here, Jay Nair here from Project Essalon. He was there with them going into the climb. Not enough, though. It looks like the next rider to just barely make it back on time is going to be A. Charles here, coming from the CCNS team. So you have 39 riders, I believe, here at this point. 39 riders have made the main group, starting with 85, and 2 laps in, we have split the pack down to in half, essentially, out here today.
Not to brag or boast, but I think that followed my formula.
I think you did. I think you're pretty much right on there. It's
okay, so if the next lap, then there should be, if we continue to use the toll theory, it should be down to about 25 guys, is my guess. Maybe a little less than that the next time. But see, Nathan, you know this so well. I appreciate your in-depth knowledge of all of the courses here. I mean, the odds that you attack on the flat sector here and create a race-winning scenario, pretty unlikely. And if you're trying to set up a teammate, I don't really know how much work you'd be doing for them either. There's so many strong guys left in this group. You've got to know when to keep the powder dry. But again, riders like McLean, they have at it. Why not play to your strengths? Certainly, I have all due respect for riders that make the race. Always going to be rooting for the breakaway over here, Nathan. I think we all do, right? I mean, but boy, the reality of right now, we're not even halfway into this race. There's very strong guys who are still right now playing with a full deck.
Did you sense is that did you see how the pack was really spread out though during that last?
So there was a lull,
the legs
right?
I mean, definitely a lull here, and he's taking full advantage. That's for sure. If he's feeling good, now French here, DTR. Interesting to see. Is he going to be able to make some? Dan J now thinks that this is a move to go with here. The dropouts team now
for him.
Coming out of the saddle here, 146 beats per minute. He's got a kick, and you just see how he kicked there. Just like in real life cycling, you don't want to just pull the group along with you if you want to get into the breakaway. You got to jump, make sure nobody's on your wheel, and make them work for it. Sean continues on at 6.8 watts per kilogram. Can Dan get across 418 watts? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. You see here from the cryogen team sits on the front and makes sure that this is not going much of anywhere. So that's the current situation. I want to just bring in a quick comment, though, from the Facebook. I just see your comments coming through. We'll try and interact as much as we possibly can. Derek Principal, thanks a lot for the comment here. You're going to cover tonight. So, for the racing, especially with leagues like this, we want to just say that there will be people streaming their live perspectives, and we definitely want to support those that are in the community streaming their live perspectives. So make sure to go ahead and check out over Zwift, usually over on Twitch, or some of them are on YouTube, but definitely going to be plenty of people, I think, streaming their live experiences tonight. A lot of times when it comes to the later in the day coverage, we try and push, as far as for the US of A here, try and push people on over toward those personal channels. Check them out. Support those people who are out there putting the work in the community to stream their perspectives on the race. There's definitely a whole community of streamers out there doing an amazing job showing what a racer perspective is like. Esther Hughes are now going across them as we're looking at their perspective here. This is a serious move. Now, okay, we saw something like this work a few weeks back, I believe it was, where it's very difficult to make it happen on this course here, but with these counterattacks over and over again, people are going to be in the red. And Esther Hughes in here, McLean looks like Weiss comes back together again, but look at this V more into 8 watts per kilogram here. They continue to attack like this. It's good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just shattering at the back here, and people are going to start losing wheels. This may be able to work going into this false flat situation in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying earlier, you don't expect to see attacks, but when you do, it certainly stirs the pot. So that's the men's race. It is pandemonium right now in Innsbruck. We're looking at Christy Tracy over here. I love when you do the split screen, giving us the Tête de la Course sound. The front of the bike race here for both of these races, you get the feeling, again, that every time up the climb, it is gut check time for everybody in the race. Whether you're trying to hang on, going through a bad patch, that's a tough place to do it because there's going to be riders that are really looking to make their race there. You talk about it being the signature feature part of the course, and it certainly, that fourth trip up, Nathan, it's going to be a barn burner. So here we go. Well, really, I mean, this one is going by quickly. We're not even going to see, 45 minutes of racing today. This one will be done and dusted. So all the different categories out here racing on this Innsbruck course. If you're just joining us, we're looking at 36, an interesting 36 kilometer, almost like intervals out here. Every lap, you get this one trip. Nathan, there was a course that they used to race in the old Coors Classic that was called Suicide Hill. It was, if you go to Snowmass, Colorado. Yeah, it's insane. It's actually one of the only heated roads in the world. They actually run coils to heat the pavement so that cars can drive up in the wintertime. Otherwise, the cars would just literally start sliding down the mountain. This climb is similar to that. It's short. It's brutally steep. I think these are the most severe efforts. You'd probably rather be passing a kidney stone than doing this climb at the fourth lap if you're in that front group.
And as we head into our second time over the top for the women now, Carolyn Murray making her way to the front here. Sarah Symphony, she is on the aggression here. Sarah Symphony, they've been quite the force in this series so far. And they've been playing their tactics really well. Christy Tracy jumping onto the wheel. Now it does look like Lauren Stevens, though, just following wheels. She's been playing it so smart. I think that Lauren Stevens has really been doing her homework here, but it looks like not so much going to be following wheels here this time around. Putting her nose to the wind here at this point. 7.5 watts per kilogram. I think she wants to see a break situation, or at least try and whittle things down a little bit more. A couple too many bodies in here, so let's go ahead and bag them up. It looks like HB, Harris, as well as Ramsey. Off the back here, it looks like, and then it's going to be Russo here coming out of South Africa. Enzo Pitzer just trying to hang on. Evoke here with two teammates here trying to come across. Will it happen? It looks like Enzo's going to be able to hang on. And there's a little bit of gap ahead. I think he's going to come together with these riders, though, as Evoke does have the experience. Holland, though, off the back. Harris as well. Not going to be happening. Is that 6-7? That's completely open up. Pitzer, though, it looks like suffering, as I believe they attacked over the top. Yeah, actually, there's a split. I missed there. Chapin's unable to hang on again. This is what we saw last lap, and it looks like it's going to be Tipco that made it happen along with Team Turbo. Charlotte Backus. Those are the names, actually, here. Charlotte Backus here from Team Turbo, Leah Thorvaldsen, and Lauren Stevens. They've been making this leg snapper so incredibly difficult for the rest of the women.
Got to give Charlotte credit. I believe she's still in Park City, Utah. So if that's true, she's riding at, pretty close to 6,000 feet of elevation. That's significant. It makes it. But then again, so are the riders that are racing, like the Jaramillo sisters, that are racing out of Colorado Springs. It's a special kind of athlete that can add that factoring in slightly less oxygen in the air as you're trying to run that engine. Nathan, what's going on over here with the men right now is Lauren Stevens made a selection out there. We're going to be checking back in with the women, but let's see who we've got on attack. It looks like, is that John Yeager that we've got?
Yeah, Yeager here. Jake Yeager, he likes this section, it seems like. A little bit more of just powerhouse, put the power down, get the speed high. Flatter sections, it looks like it was trying to make something work for him, but the pack is right on his wheel, pushing 5.8, but that 4-1 here, rolling through 53 kilometers per hour. He's just going to have to keep the pace high to hang on as they come speeding right on by here. Now a counterattack, though, it does look like, is that Santa? Looks like he's not actually counterattacking. The Italian rider, I think, just taking some speed on through as the pack slingshots him forward a little bit here, as you can see. Moving backwards, they'll come up the field, looking for some positioning. Anybody falling off the pack, though, through that section? I'd be surprised if they did. That anybody who's made this group at this point, most likely not going to put too much pressure on them through those sections, of course. Off the front, though, a little bit here. I didn't see, is that going to be the rider in green? I want to see, is that going to be Cora McGill here? It looks like.
Oh, boy.
That's an early attack, actually. 7 watts per kilogram going into the leg snapper. Interesting to see.
He's another guy that, he's got a massive capacity, this Irish rider who's been in Washington State, which is the home of Gerard Cycles. It's a new team in esports. Cormac McGill races for Wildlife Generation on the road. If we can ever, as I know USA Cycling is working so hard to try to figure out how to get us back on a start line in real life and racing, and Cormac could be the first guy there, no doubt about it. But he's been up in Seattle, Washington over the last couple of months during this COVID-19 lockdown. He's been just getting fitter, stronger, and savvy racer, no doubt. He's learned the game. And Nathan, you have done a really good job of illustrating that, you need the big engine, but you have to learn. It looks like this. Laverick is going.
Laverick is going. Anderson's here. There's 3 up the front. They got 5 seconds. They're not even hitting the leg snapper yet. This is an interesting move. You barely ever see this. Now, the question is, can they hit 10 watts per kilogram is going to be the question, because that's what they're going to be hitting behind, knowing that they have to chase this down. But 5 seconds, that is a very solid attack. And Laverick can climb like no other.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, Nathan, talk about the quality of rider that Laverick is. He is one of the big animators in the world of esports, and he is going big right now. Look at these numbers, 9 watts per kilo. That rarefied air, oh boy. We made up that the verb getting Lavericked a couple of weeks ago. Well, he's doing it again, but look at this. Scotty Weiss is going to respond. So you can see the American Weiss is going to come up and over the top, and this is going to bring it on now. It is pandemonium in Innsbruck here. This is going to be an interesting trip up the climb, Nathan. I'll throw it back to you because we've got ourselves a Donnybrook happening.
F. Diavola here now, coming out of Belgium, trying to come over the top. 184 beats per minute. Now Spice goes ahead on the attack. Boniface is going as well. Looks like it's going to be Stocks here now. Go U23. Hodden. When I'm seeing a shout out actually this rider. This rider, 4th place currently here. And actually I am seeing over on social media. Go on Andy Hodden coming in. from Cademu here. So good to see he's got some people cheering him on. It's obviously giving him some extra motivation and speed here because he is right in this top three. Look at this situation. It is really. Laverick is here. There's a split behind here. The group is starting to split. They're going to have to really push on to get back on turf. A few of the riders here. Third time over the top. We're going to have one more in a second here. Zwart, Landis tracked, unable to make it. It looks like, oh my gosh, Walker. Can he get back on? It looks like just barely Dan J. Is he playing it smart? That might be what's going on here. Maybe there's a lot left here at 7
He'll get back on. Yep, Nathan, good call. I think that was some smart gaming right there. He's going to get back on. He realizes that you can't play around with this one as they're going to be right now. You can't afford to miss a step out here. They're more than 24K into this 36-kilometer slugfest out here. Little splits opening up, though, all over the place. It shows you that, when you see Boniface and Laverick up there near the front, is that going to be Dan Fleeman as well? Sometimes it's a little tricky.
I do not believe we have.
Okay, all right. I was wondering who. Okay, so there we go, though. Look at this. We're very close to seeing the elastic snapping here. What a course. This one brings out the best in our racers. And having at it right now. Zwart getting back on.
Here. It does look like Wouters going to be able to make it happen, but was that a match burn? Extra. There.
Absolutely, Nathan.
On the downhill there.
No question.
Because the reality is, you kick on the front, and if you get over the top in first place, you can essentially not rest, but you can really allow the legs to sit a little bit. Now look at the Queen. He loves this section of the course here. Not going to be able to go over the top, as it looks like it's going to be Bryce, Boniface, Ward here, all working together to make something happen now, and they want to keep the pace as high as possible, it looks like, as they continue on at almost 50 kilometers per hour. So this is where all the action's been going on here on lap number 3. Now, I think Laverick, what was going on in Ed Laverick's head there, just so everybody knows, he is the UK hill climb champion. He definitely is going to be looking to try and make something happen each time on that climb, most likely. But he's got to play it tactically because it's not quite long enough for a rider like that to really get enough separation. So I think that's why you're seeing him try and create these gaps before they actually hit the hill climb, make the pack work to chase something down, put them in the red a little bit, and then climb it, and then go full on over the top. He's really trying to set something up here to get a sprint to happen because he does not have the sprint that's needed, especially for this. This is a drag race. Looking at this right here, you're looking right now at the last 1K that we'll have on the next lap, right? So in the next lap, we got about 10K to go right now. This is the final K we'll look at the next lap. And look at this. This is a drag race right here. That's what it is. It's a straightaway right on into the finish line. And we all should be already seeing some splits going on here. Weiss, Anderson, McQueen still pushing on here. Moore's having to close things down. They're letting it go here. 164 beats per minute here. 8 watts per kilogram. It looks like Hanny can say that this is a situation where you got to get across now because JD out here,
right there.
off the back. Yep, it's over here for these riders unless they really work together right now.
Yeah, like the last helicopter leaving Hanoi. You better get on this one because it's leaving. And that looks like these guys are right on the edge. Look at the numbers that they're having to create here, Nathan. I saw Collins there, up in the red. So that's what it's going to take if you're going to rejoin. Positioning is so important. We've got one more leg snapper left. Boy, they used that one to their advantage, no doubt. Great comment, Patrick. Laverick, I've never seen him anything but hot. Red, white hot at Laverick out here. But look at that, the Canadian in our series leader on points, Brett Boniface. That Canadian is always in the mix, Nathan. Boniface is doing an exceptional job riding. His TSS is going to be relatively low, I would say. He hasn't got caught on the wrong side of any of these splits that I've seen now. He's taking them to task here.
Barely ever see this actually here on this course here, so very cool to see.
Really different.
How incredibly active things have been. And I think a lot of the esports team have gotten very smart recently about how to break a group apart. There's been a lot of situations, and in Zwift racing, it really is like crit racing when it comes to making the splits happen. You have to have very, very high intensity attacks over and over and over again. Then the next thing you know, it'll break forms eventually. And that's what we're seeing happen here. And cool to see that there's some motivation putting on a show. That's for sure. Spencer Downey just barely getting back on terms. It looks like here, 179 beats per minute. Currently in the women's race here right now, as we're heading on over toward their third time over the top. They're 20.9 kilometers in, 29 minutes of racing down. They've climbed 174 meters so far. Wendorf is in there, Tyler's in there as well. We're seeing Mattson Pro. Paul there from TV Heath, Carolyn Murray as well. It looks like HP and Ramsey in a small group, as well as A. Harris, Poland, and Angela Pitcher trying to chase things down. 5 riders, it looks like, in amongst this group. And that's going to be going out to, believe, 20th
Wait a second,
place.
though. So, Nathan, are we looking? Okay, we're looking at a chase group.
This
right
is a chase
now,
group.
I
Yep,
realize.
chase
There
group,
you go. Yep. The, obviously looking for Stevens. There she is. The rider out of Dallas, Texas. Big star, no question. Winner of the Winston-Salem UCI one-day race. Arguably the hardest one-day race to win in North America, or certainly the United States. They do a great job there in North Carolina. So, Nathan, this group now, when you look at it, 17 riders here. They started 5 minutes after the men. We'll get a really good look at the finale of this race. We'll bring the whole thing home for you here. We'll probably have covered the last 6-7 minutes in its entirety for the women here. One rider, though, that I obviously we're big fans of, Charlotte Backus. She punches above her weight week in, week out. This little climb suits her well. Small group, Backus, Stevens together, Nathan. Be interesting to watch. Never really know, do you? Always got to remember the heart that Christy Tracy has, the rider. Another Texas-based rider, in this case, Christy Tracy out of Austin. But I don't know that there's a racer with more razzmatazz than Christy Tracy.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Christy Tracy, over on Twitter, they're bringing in more. I love it how Jamie brings in these live shots, actually. So
he's a good dude.
Very good dude. And real quickly, here's a live shot here. That's her. She's got quite the pain cave, that's for sure. And hammering away. I guess she's on a new H3 as well. So good to see the support here coming in from Sars for the team, for Sars Infinite. But to the front here, Backus. I've been watching out for Backus in the sprint. Lead out from Leah Thorvaldsen. They're going to try and, I think, take down Lauren Stevens out here today. I think that's going to be the goal, is to watch Lauren Stevens. Over the top of the climb, though, can't be watching too much, as I believe Cyrus is going to go on the attack often to try and disrupt that 1-2 situation that I believe we're going to be watching out for between Leah Thorvaldsen and Charlotte Backus.
Yeah, Charlotte has done such a great job helping organize that Socks for Watts team. It's an international squad that does our team time trials on Thursdays that have been an absolute blast at WTRL. But she has come a long way in real life and using this Swift platform. When we went into COVID-19, Nathan, a lot of people said, everyone's going to put on 10 pounds and lose fitness. Some riders said, not me. Charlotte was one of them that really embraced this, and good on her. I have loved watching this transformation from a good racer into a next level racer that's happening right in front of her eyes. It's going to be Murray here, one of the top riders in this race, no doubt about it. She's going to have the alarm bells ringing. Oh, Nathan, this is going to be fun to watch here as we take a look at the women. But Lauren Stevens is on the go. Lauren Stevens has hit out. Is this the move? Nathan, let's keep our attention here. The Vanguard, Stevens, always a rider to watch. She's in the limelight every race she does. Every time Lauren Stevens shifts, you hear 20 other riders shifting back in the peloton. Everyone wants to do what Lauren's doing. Well, right now, the front of the bike race, the Japanese rider, Takashita, looking very strong here. Stevens, Takashita, who else wants to go? I think this is the move, Nathan. Thorvaldsen, Murray is there. James here, looks like she's going to make it. Schultz maybe going to get on. Come on, ladies, here we go. Throttle all the way open now. Thorvaldsen able to hang on. Great job, Leah.
Yeah, Thorvaldsen is here, able to make it. I don't think Backus is going to make a chase here. Backus is just going to sit in here. Team Turbo allowing her rider to go away. Leah Thorvaldsen get involved in this break here. And maybe Backus will come across here with, this is a serious tactic here. Let Schultz carry her along. I don't know if she's got anything left in the tank here. We might see a jump across over this little gradient, but it looks like she's going to allow this to go. Murray ahead here now, currently just hanging on the back of this pack. I think this is going to come back together between these riders, at least these 4 and 4. Tamler and Vine now trying to make a chase, and looks like, as well as Keller behind, as you can see. So perhaps back together again. It's interesting to see. I wonder if Backus is sitting in and allowing Leah to go, if there's just not enough energy in the tank. She does make a race in the front.
Yeah.
8 seconds. Murray now. This is going away, actually.
Yeah, this is the move. This is the selection. Here you go. This is your bike race, ladies and gentlemen. These four are going to be competing for the win. I have no doubt about that now. So, Nathan, I think probably if Charlotte could, she would. I mean, you never know. She's been racing a lot out here. Now, this men's race is coming down to the final 5K as well. So, we're going to be jumping back and forth between these. We've got two main events going. Actually, we've got 8 main events going on. Thank you, everybody who's racing here with our USA Cycling Race League. It means so much that we can keep our USA cycling community together and racing. And man, it looks like in the men's race, Nathan, we've got another attack. I think we're going to settle in these 4 riders here. Well, it's going to be interesting here, but in the men's race, it is absolute pandemonium right now. Look at
Yeah,
the
we're gonna jump into the men's
507.
race here
Wow.
real quickly here, actually, just to make sure that we catch the finish of their race. We're back in, jump back in with the women for their final lap here in just a moment. There's a break in the women's race here. Lauren Stevens, 6 watts per kilogram, currently off the front, but here Andy Hodden now giving a go, and it looks like I'm getting a little information about this rider actually coming in from David Lyons, letting us know that Andy Hodden, ex-Raleigh UK Continental rider, actually, great sprinter, crit rider, trying to get involved, and it looks like he's coming off the front here at 9-10 watts per kilogram. So good to see Andy jumping in to our USA Cycling. Ed Lavick right onto his wheel, and this is a new horse, dark horse in the day, a wild card going into the mix amongst the esports riders.
You know, and Nathan, I would say that this little stunner of a climb that we have, this is something that sprinters can get over. You only have to make the watts for 90 seconds, 2 minutes to get over that climb. So it's certainly interesting. This is not a climber's course per se in any way, shape, or form, is it?
Yeah, Boniface did get off the front here a little while earlier. It
Oh,
was on
boy.
the attack, but it looks like he's going to be brought back in. Scotty Weiss is off the front at 11. It looks like steady watts per kilogram. They may be.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I think now Boniface is going to get brought. No, you're fine. You're fine. And Boniface is going to get brought back in here. Hardin tries to jump on the wheel. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it. There's going to be a large enough group here, though. Yeah. So they are going to be able to make the juncture, I believe, here. But Hardin here looks to be trying to go across. And he's raced against Weiss, I believe, in real life here. So he's believing, I think, that he's going to chase down Weiss here. But is that going to be able to happen? It depends on whether or not there's impetus here in if these riders have the motivation. I think they do. I think they got the power. I think they have the speed. And I believe Hardin, I think that this is just going to be a little bit too much of an ask for the kind of speeds that they're going to ramp up here into this final couple kilometers.
Nathan, where is Cormac McGill right now?
McGill got dropped on the last lap.
That's what's going on.
McGill
Okay.
either got
All right.
dropped on the last lap or he had a dropout. I think he may have had a dropout, 1.8 watts per kilogram. He's 1 lap down, actually, off the front.
Okay, good. That clarifies it. I had some people asking it. So the brunt of the bike race right now is what we're looking at here. So something happening with Weiss too. So again, this is Ed Laverick out of Wales in the black with the Tron green wheels here. So Laverick is a huge danger man. Without any doubt, every alarm bell available is ringing as loud as it can right now. So Ed Laverick is going to be your worst nightmare here for this finale. They are down to it, Nathan. We're going to be coming in. Laverick, as someone said, coming in hot. This man is scorching it right now. This human wattage cottage. Nathan, can he bring this home?
The pack here, and who has been sitting in is going to be the question. They're at 3.7 watts per kilogram, and nobody's wanting to do the work here. If they do not do the work, they're not even going to bring back Weiss. I thought Weiss would be caught. He's got a solid 16, 18 seconds here. They've got about a K to go here at this point. Laverick now at 7 watts per kilogram. Hodden here now, 5 watts per kilogram now. Reynards is there as well. Reynards as well as Gleason. They're starting to make it over their front, but the pack is being too lazy here at this point. They got to start either attacking each other. They've got to start pushing on here, but they're looking at each other. Nobody wants to waste the effort. Laverick's off the front. He's going to get caught, I believe, by the main pack, but Weiss, I think, is going to walk away here. Well, 10 seconds can still be brought back in, but it's got to go now. Anderson, though, not working with the pack here. Everybody's just fighting for themselves. I think that this has been such a difficult race that it has completely wiped out the energy in the legs. Nobody's got anything left here. Anderson continues on now. Schwartz here, we're into the last 500 meters, and I think that Weiss has got this.
Even Laverick can't hold these boys off, though, Nathan. It shows you the power of the peloton as they can sniff the finish line now. It looks like we're about to go into full sprint mode, I would think. There's going to be a couple of runners that want to challenge that. The finish line comes up very, very quickly. Keep me on my toes here, Nathan, as again, These finishes are really challenging. These guys have had a chance to reconnoiter this a few times, but obviously when you start seeing the fencing, you know that you're very, very close to being done and dusted out here.
Here we go
And
now.
it looks
Come on,
like
B.
here
Moore.
they are.
Moore is
Yep.
opening up here. He's into the last 200 meters here. Boniface is trying to get across, but it looks like Moore has gotten the jump on him. Boniface is not going to be able to come across here. This is a sprint to the line. It's Boniface followed up, Moore followed up by Boniface, and then Gleason. We'll take a look at the replay.
Vigo.
Through next on through, but Vigo Moore, what a kick coming from him in this men's race. Back into the ladies' race here. We'll take a look at the replay and the results in just a little bit here. In the women's race, though, they're about to head into their third time over the top of the, I believe they're heading into their last lap here, actually, they are actually into their last lap, but we're looking at Carolyn Murray, actually. Let's see if I move our way backwards, actually, a little bit. They're in the men's race. We do have the second group coming in to their sprint here in just a moment as well. So we'll be able to watch the second group come across the line in just a few minutes here. Lots of riders fell off pretty early, actually, so there's a lot of straight coming in as well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have the women. If you enjoyed that finale, you've got another one coming your way. They never disappoint out of this group. So let's see what the scenario is here, Nathan. They did reset, didn't they? So that's going to be a nice kick save there for riders that didn't make that four-rider split with Stevens. They obviously did a lot of work there to bring that back. So, all right, a little bit of a reset. These are the women that remain right now in our front group. We're looking at the vanguard. Again, Christy Tracy, always a rider. Easy to support, isn't she? When they race with panache, it makes it, she's very identifiable out here and does a good job of, just being organized and promoting herself and this platform of esports racing out here on Zwift. Small group, hard to sprint out of a group like this, and you know that there's an attack coming, Nathan. We've got one more trip of the leg snapper for the ladies here.
With a little less bodies in here, too, the reality of the drafting and the working together, a little bit less. There's a lot more opportunity here to maybe try and get away on this little uphill grind right now on the leg snapper. You know, you're not quite as worried about being chased down. It'll happen most likely with some of the teams in here with some efforts, but it's a little bit easier to break things if you've got some energy in the legs here. So I'm feeling that we're going to see Stevens really give a go, try and break things apart. Obviously, we did see Leah Thorvaldsen is going really well. She came across to Stevens as well as Takashita. So those three riders, as well as Carolyn Murray, were all able to make that group last lap. So we'll have to see how that ends up playing out here. I think Stevens going to give it another go. Backus, I wonder if she's been holding back. I'm not sure. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, the Japanese rider, Takashita, has been certainly, I would think, Nathan, the most dangerous. She's been able to go and respond to these moves that Lauren Stevens has been throwing down. So certainly she's a rider to watch. We don't have the Israeli rider, Shani Berger. I haven't seen her. I hate to make definitive statements, but I don't believe that she's in this group. I'm 99% sure.
She showed on the race today.
Yeah. I don't believe she did.
Yeah, so
right.
It's
did not DNS, as they say.
I believe it is. It's your best of 7, so she'll still be able to be involved in the series. It's just 10 races total, so you can take a week off here or there and not race every single week.
So, exactly. In almost any series that you do in the sport of cycling, they allow you to toss an event or two, and especially a long series like we have with the USA Cycling Race League, it only makes sense. It's the right way to do it. So those formulas have been established a long time ago. And as we take a look here, this group really just kind of biding our time. It's like a ticking time bomb.